Yesterday I had a bad idea. What if I tried to draw all the Inktober prompts in 24 hours as a complete beginner? I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing this in a minute, and if you don't know what Inktober is, I'll explain that as well. But right now, let's get started. Our first prompt is mustache. And for each of these prompts, I'm going to do a mini comic. Hopefully give me some comics to put on my newsletter, Comics on the House, and I'll talk about that later. So for mustache, I was literally thinking just like some guy's mustache like pops off, and the mustache is like, "See ya, sucker." That's the kind of humor you're gonna get here, by the way. I apologize. While I ink this, I'm gonna tell you about Inktober. It's a month-long art challenge that happens every single October. Each day, an artist takes one of the single word prompts, like mustache, and use it as inspiration for your drawing. Normally, you draw one per day, and if you're an idiot who wants to do a YouTube video, you do it all in 24 hours. It was started in 2009 by artist Jake Parker, and he started it as a way to improve every single day. By drawing every day, you'll get a little bit better, and I do agree with that. And so that's the first one. That is our first prompt. Our second prompt is weave. Weave is an interesting one. I think weave is like, weave. So I'm having a little bit of trouble, but so I'm gonna teach you how I like brainstorm for comic ideas. Usually I look up some like sayings, like there's a saying, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave." That, you know what that makes me think of? Sometimes you just need some outside inspiration. This actually came out pretty wholesome. The little baby spider made his first web, and mama spider's like, "Hey, it's fine. Tangled webs are normal when we first practice." I think it's adorable, and it kind of also relates to this challenge. Inktober is really all about growing and improving as an artist, and I'm honestly an inspiring artist. I would love to draw my own comic book one day instead of hiring people to draw it for me. And even though all I can do is like really poorly doodle, I thought I'd attempt this challenge to show you that you don't have to be a great artist to start drawing. In fact, the first start to getting good is starting. I think the Dalai Lama said that, actually. Okay, next prompt is crown. Crown the king. When I first started thinking crown, I started thinking clown. There's a clown that gets a crown for clowning. I don't know why, but it makes me very giggly. Our next prompt, murky. I feel like there's a pun there on like murky waters. I've been thinking about psychics lately, and I think it could be funny if it's like your future is murky. That's because you filled it up with swamp water. This is stupid. Our next prompt, deer. Okay, I thought it'd be really funny if like there are two deers that are hiding in the shadows here, and somebody's hunting them. It's gonna be a Disney animator who's looking to create his next protagonist by killing their parents. And the punchline is, "Oh dear." Because I am a goofy, stupid little guy. Honestly, after doing this, I don't know if I'll be able to complete it in 24 hours, but we'll see. All right, the next one is pierce. I actually have an idea already for Pierce. I've always loved the idea of like the sideshow. So I'm just thinking of like Showmaster, and he's like, "This next talent has eyes that can pierce." And it's a guy who has blades for eyes. Okay, it's stupid, I know, but this is what I'm good at. I'm good at stupid little dumb jokes. It's what I'm known for in the streets. I feel like I always do puns, and I kind of want to step outside of my comfort zone a little bit with starfish, but I also don't want to do that. I think I will step out my comfort zone later. I want to do something different, but I don't want to do something different. Am I about to have an existential crisis about trying to do different? I think I am. I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. I'm gonna think a little bit about who I want to be as a person. So after talking to my grandfather and getting a cup of coffee, which I just remembered I had, I just thought, stop thinking and just do. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The object is completing the challenge. So we got number 7 done. It's a little fish who's getting a star on Hollywood for his role in Redfish, Bluefish. In canon, he played both roles, Redfish and Bluefish, and he got an Oscar. Of course, because he did both roles so well. It was so believable. We thought they were two people. All right, we got 7 down, number amount on the screen because I can't do math right now to go. The next one is reckless. Okay, reckless. I ended up doing a guy on a table in a club. He's drinking and his friend's saying, "Maybe you should stop. You have work tomorrow." He's like, "Never." And then it cuts to him in the morning hungover like, "Man, I hate when he's right." For this next one, I thought I would do some challenges with the rest of them just to keep the video entertaining. So number 9 is heavy, and I'm gonna do it without penciling to challenge myself to not think about it and just do. I think I have an idea already for heavy. I ended up doing something that's not funny because I'm not funny, so basically like before, but it's a guy holding a bunch of like trauma and sadness and sorrow, and it's his buddy helping him carrying it, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for helping me carry this. It is heavy." Okay, for number 10, sweep. I'm just gonna do another pun. I have an idea already. I made this guy saying, "I'm gonna sweep the floor with you," and he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, yeah. And he starts sweeping him with the floor. Sorry. So I do number 11 Sting. I'm going to tell you about my newsletter, Comic on the House. Every single week, I send out about 3 or 4 comics. And we even have like a fun game where you give me a prompt and then I make a comic around that prompt. I also highlight comics and manga around the industry. And I also update people on my videos that I make here. If that interests you, you can sign up for free in the link in the description. And I've been loving doing it, so I hope you enjoy. All right, I just finished Sting. And for Sting, what I did was a bee stinging a guy. The first bee says, "You stung him, you're gonna die." And then the other bee says, "He was talking on his phone on speaker in public. It was worth it." Because I hate when people do that. I hate when people talk on their phone in public on speaker. It's like, come on, we all hate you. I don't know why these stupid ideas come so easy to me, but I have one for shredded. Actually, you know what? For this one, I'm gonna do it blind. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna draw this one completely blind. All right, here we go. Can you see that my eyes are open? No, I'm just kidding. Try to do this. All right, where's my canvas here? All right, let's see how bad this is. This is gonna be awful, but what I want to do is a cheese that is shredded. That's so stupid. Check out shredded cheese. I love it. I'm not going to ink it blind. Maybe I'll do it for the next one. I just like this one too much, to be honest. All right, so now we're gonna do number 13, drink, completely blindfolded. I'm at least gonna give me a guide to where the canvas is. I don't want to ruin shredded cheese. Drink. Let's see. Drink. Okay, this is so bad. What I wanted to do was like a commercial for vampires, like get your refreshing drink of blood. that came out so bad. 14 is trunk. I already have one. Okay, so for number 14 for trunk, it's so dumb. I ended up doing 2 guys pointing at a woman and they're saying, "Bro, she got so much junk in that trunk." And the guy's like, "Yo, for real, dude?" And the girl is just standing in front of a trunk full of junk. Okay, that is about almost half of them done. I am tired. I can feel my brain turning into mush though, so that's not good. Should I take a break? No, we must continue because we got ragged next. All right, pencils down because we have a little problem. I kind of forgot that I promised that I would go get drinks with a friend. So this might ruin the challenge. Maybe I'll be a bad friend and I'll bring my art and work on my art there. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna bring that, this, and this. So my friend Jalen is actually an artist, and when I got to the table, she was already drawing something, which is perfect because that means I could force her to do the prompt ragged with me, with consent, of course, and it was actually really fun. It took my favorite thing about Inktober and brought that feeling into the real world, which is community. For me, the best thing about Inktober is uniting the art community and doing something together. We ended up finishing. Her art was way better than mine, of course. Then we went to a few stores, like this cool indie shop and my local comic book store. When I got home, it was pretty late, so I decided to lock the heck in and draw. My goal was to finish them all, but I'll tell you about that later. I'm just gonna draw real quick and then we'll talk about that. Okay. Oh, when I lock in like this, by the way, I always use brain.fm. It gets me focused quickly, and it's way better than any random Spotify playlist. Like, truly, it's been life-changing for my ADHD brain. I actually have ADHD diagnosed, by the way, not just a quirky thing. I love using the deep work, but they got other things for like sleep, relaxation, and meditation. All like science-backed is actually pretty cool. This is not sponsored, by the way. Hopefully, maybe one day, but my referral link in the description will get you a 30 free day trial, and if you sign up for real, it'll help me make more videos, and I truly do use this daily. All right, I grinded all night basically till I just hear the comics I made, and I'll tell you what happened after I show you these ones. Ragged guy looks at ragged doll in a case that says "do not touch." He touches it. The doll jumps at him. "Catch a raid!" Oh no. Blunder. This one was stupid. Blunder. I thought you said plunder. I stole so much. Ornate. It's an ornate ornament. Deal. A painting of guys shaking hands, and one guy says, "This is easy, I could do this." The other person says, "Then why don't you?" Real. Arctic. Shoot, my mom was right, I should have grabbed a jacket. Rivals. I got the new vacuum, you can throw out that old broom. Okay. The broom gets angry. "I will unplug this vacuum if it's the last thing I do." Blast. Fire him up, fireworks lighter stopped, is exploding. Person says, "I told you opening a joint firework lighter store was a bad idea." Button. Boy, you sure do know how to push my buttons. Ha ha. Dang, this joke robot sucks. Firefly. 2 people sitting by a pond and there's a bunch of fireflies. Wow, there must be like 1,000,000 fireflies. Owl City would lose their mind. Rowdy. Ants going into the hole and 2 ants at a water cooler. What's got them riled up? They found banana bread crumbs. Why are we still standing here? Inferno. A guy spits into a hole. Watchtower guard says, "Stop spitting into the ninth layer of hell." Puzzling. A guy looking over comics. What should I draw next? Maybe me struggling to come up with an idea? No, that's stupid. And then it's a guy looking at the camera very angrily and in disgust. You knew it was a dumb idea, yet you still wrote and drew this comic. Ew. Onion. Two people talk. Last night an onion made me cry. You should have chilled it before cutting. Cutting. And it cuts to the onion mocking him. Your mom was right. You'll never be a good clown. Lesson. A guy putting papers into order. This will teach him. Cuts to him in a lecture hall. Okay, students, any questions? Vacant, a sign that says Motel 18. The vacancy sign is lighting up and it says, "Please, please stay here." A husband in a car that's driving past says, "Let's stay somewhere else. They are too desperate." Award. It's a presenter in front of a crowd and he says, "And the award for least awards received is Jim." And it's Jim crying happily. Finally, I won something. But I spelled finally wrong. Okay, so I have something to admit. I have 44 minutes left and one last prompt to go. I kind of got discouraged last night. I was just staring at this thing and I just couldn't think of anything. I just kept staring at this empty block and it's literally the last thing I have to do. And then I complete the challenge for good. And then I started spiraling of like, this is something I do so much. I start a project and then I never finish it. I just ended up watching some TV and reading some comic books last night instead of working and finishing, and then I went right to bed. And then this morning I woke up with the same paralyzing feeling of just like, I don't know if I can finish this. An hour ago, I just went downstairs and I started talking to my family, and they were like, we just started shooting like ideas back and forth, and it was actually really nice, and it just kind of made me remember to get out of my own head, and I came up with an idea for Skeletal that I liked. So we're gonna do the last prompt, and hopefully I can finish it in 42 minutes, because I know I'm gonna have self-doubt start to sit in, but let's try to not let that happen. Skeletal. It is God looking at a bone in front of a constructed skeleton with instructions and IKEA pieces on the floor. And he says, "Is this an extra piece, or did I, God, misread instructions again?" Well, I actually had so much fun doing this. Even if you're not an artist, I actually recommend doing Inktober. If you want to hang out some more, watch another video by clicking that link. And if you want to get awesome comics straight to your inbox every single week for free, just click that link right there or visit comicsinthehouse.com. It's mine. It's not a sponsor. It's me.